morning, TeraBYTEs. Today is November 3rd, 2022. My name is Cypress, and this is NewsBYTEs New for 22.
Welcome to NewsBYTEs, new for 22. My name is Hunter. What's new this week? Well, let's go to Andre to find out.
Welcome to What's New in the Code. My name is Andrea. Just a reminder, material pickup will take place on November 9th, which will also be the day Live Touch will be doing Picture Day for New Code Academy. Also, New Code Academy Spirit Wear store is now open. You will be receiving the link for the store in the Friday news blast, or you can use the QR here to get to the store. Orders can be picked up at Big Frog in Bloomington at Oak Grove Middle School, or emailed to your home for additional fee. The store closes at midnight on November 20th.
Spiritwear? I can't wait to see what awesome TeraBYTE merch we can get this year.
I know I'll have my eye out, Cypress. Next up, we have MegaByte Weather with the return of our senior weatherman, Rory. Hey, Rory, how's November shaping up?
Hey TeraBYTE, it's Rory back with this week's weather. Did you miss me? Get outside and enjoy the warm weather while you can, because the temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the week. Today we will have a high of 72 degrees and the possibility of a thunderstorm. Look ahead to next Wednesday. The high is forecasted to be 36 degrees with the possibility of snow. That's quite a swing in weather, but that's Minnesota for you. In honor of Halloween earlier this week, here's a joke for you. What do you call dangerous precipitation? A reign of terror. That's all for this week's weather. See you next week.
Thanks for the forecast, Rory. Wait, how can Rory be a senior weatherman when he's only in the 8th grade?
Now that's a great question, Hunter. But while you ponder that, let's go to Jacob for our weather fact.
Have you ever heard of the phrase witch storms? In the fall, the temperature difference between the north and the south can create strong storm systems and the possibility of damaging high winds. Early November has a long history of these intense storms in the Midwest and Great Lakes regions. This can cause major hazards for shipping through the Great Lakes. These storms are called witch storms. Witch storms were the cause of the sinking of a huge iron ore ship on Lake Superior in 1975. The ship was named the Edmund Fitzgerald. So now you know which witch storm is which. Back to you, Hunter and Cypress.
Wow, which storms in November?
Which storms are you talking about, Cypress?
You know, the witch storms Jacob just told us about. Which brings us to our world news headlines with Liam.
Good morning. My name is Liam, and here are our world news headlines. Our first story is from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva defeated incumbent Jair Bolsonaro in the Brazilian presidential election in an extremely tight race. Da Silva received 50.9% of the vote, making this the tightest race since the country's return to democracy in 1985. Next, we go to Manila, Philippines. One of the most destructive storms to the Philippines this year caused the death of over 100 people. Many tried to avoid the storm, but fled in the wrong directions and were buried in a mudslide, while millions of others faced severe flooding. The Philippines is located in an area known as the Ring of Fire, known for many volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, as well as about 20 typhoons each year. That's our world news headlines. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, Liam, for letting us know what's happening in our world.
But now for something completely different. Mr. Cannon and the Weird World News.
Welcome to Weird World News. Our story today comes from San Francisco, California, which I hear has gone to the dogs. San Francisco is known as a food lover's paradise and is also known for its love of dogs. So, classically trained chef Rami Masarwa decided to put those loves together, opening Dog, the first restaurant catering specifically to man's best friend. The tasting menu, or otherwise known as Bon Appetit, offers your dog a multi-course meal, including delicacies such as chicken skin waffles, filet mignon steak tartare with quail egg, mushroom soup with slices of chicken breast, as well as a beverage and a baked good for dog's favorite human. Masarwa says the main idea behind Dog is to let people know the benefits of feeding your dogs fresh, healthy, natural ingredients over mass-produced dog food. The experience costs $75 per pup, but, according to Masarwa, would cost around $500 per plate in a human restaurant. Well, that story might be a little hard to digest, so back to you, Hunter and Cypress.
$75 per dog? I hope they at least serve poached eggs.
Doggone right, Cypress. Now, let's check in with Edyn to see if she will bring us something that us humans can enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to Eating with Edyn. I'm Edyn, and today we're going to make edible cookie dough. Now, this is a timeless American dessert, and it's truly my favorite dessert on the planet. Well, that and French macaroons. And of course, cookie dough French macaroons. So, you will need 1 cup of flour, heat treated for 30 seconds in the microwave. And next you will need 2/8 of a cup of brown sugar, or you can use 1 cup. I like to use 2/8, which is half a cup and 1/4 cup. That's 2/8. Because because it's less sugary, the cookie dough. And you will need a half a cup of semi-sweet mini chocolate chips. You can use milk chocolate chips, but I prefer semi-sweet because, like I said before, less sugar. And you will need one stick of butter, 8 tablespoons. You will need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You will also need 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And you will need a mixing bowl and a rubber spatula. You can also use a stand mixer for when you're making this, and if you do use it, you can use a whisk, but I just like to use the regular bowl. And you will also need a glass jar, a mason jar. And you will need a microwave safe bowl to heat up the flour in. Make sure it is microwave safe. And if you don't know if your bowl is a microwave safe bowl, you can ask your parents. So now, I'm going to get these ingredients ready, and I'll see you in a minute. Now time to cream our butter. Open up our butter, make sure it's at room temperature, and make sure it's nice and soft too. Okay, so now that we've softened our butter, your butter should look like this. Nice and creamed. And so now we have to add our 2/8 of a cup of brown sugar. So now cream it together. Make sure to mix those good and mix it until light and fluffy. Okay, so now that I've creamed these together, it should look nice and fluffy like this. So next you need to add your heavy whipping cream and your vanilla. Okay, so now this thing is even fluffier and even prettier. Next we have to add our heat treated flour. And if you're wondering why it should be heat treated, and if you think it does need to be heat treated, it does, because this flour has certain things in it, which is another reason why you shouldn't eat raw batter when you're making actual cookies that you put in the oven. So that's why it's important to heat up the flour. Okay, so now I've added my flour, and now it's time to add in the chocolate chips. Mini and bittersweet chocolate chips. So you need to fold them in like this. is different than stirring. And so now you need to put it in a microwave safe bowl. Okay, so now it's in my bowl. It should look like this. And now we're gonna put it in the fridge and if you put in the fridge, set it for 20 minutes. And if you put in the freezer, set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay, so now my cookie dough is chilled and it's ready to be put into scoops and placed into the jar. So just take it nicely. You can use your hands for this part. Don't scoop too much because then you don't know if you're gonna take too much. So just like that. And it should look nice. And with this way, you can share with your entire family. Older siblings, younger siblings, parents, aunts, uncles, and grandparents too. And it's a great snack and I'm sure your family would love it too. Okay, so now they've all been put in the jar. And make sure to put it in, if you don't put it in a jar, just at least put it in something nice and airtight, in a nice airtight container. And so take a bite out of edible cookie dough. Bye everyone, see you later.
Thank you, Edyn. I love the recipes you bring us each week.
And it sure costs a lot less dough than the dog restaurant. Let's check in with Mason and our meme challenge.
Mason here with What's the Meaning of This? If you remember, our meme this week was, we had some great submissions like, I want cheese, and when the school picture man tells me to smile. But the winner this week is My Students the Day After Halloween in My Meat, submitted by Mrs. Burke. Here's our meme for this week. Remember to email or Google chat Mr. Cannon with your best caption to this meme. The winner will be on the news next week.
Thank you, Mason. And let's congratulate Miss Berg for this week's top submission.
And don't forget to email Mr. Cannon with your best caption for this week's meme.
Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm here with this week's new TeraBYTE Brainteaser. If you're running a race and pass the person in second place, then what place are you in now? The answer will be at the end of the episode.
Thanks, Barbara. Maybe we should race to the finish of this episode to find out the answer.
But not until we watch Rad Jokes. Take it away, Rashad.
Welcome to Rad Jokes. My name is Rashad. We need help. So far, the only person submitting Rad Jokes is Mr. Jerome and Mr. Cannon. Here are some another example.
Hey, Mr. Dro here, life science teacher, teaching you about life and science, and also a dad, so I'm giving you dad jokes. Did you guys hear about this skunk that had evolved to lose its stink glands? It doesn't stink anymore. Never heard of it? That's because it went extinct.
Thanks for those jokes, Mr. Giroux. Makes me think of another one. What's the difference between a dad joke and a bad joke? The first letter. I've been getting kind of hungry editing these videos, so I'm going to go on to some jokes about food. I went to the restaurant the other night, and after I was done eating, the waiter came over and asked me, "Do you want a box for your leftovers?" I said no, but I'll wrestle you for them. Speaking of food, and about being really, really hungry, yesterday I ate a clock. It was very time consuming, especially when I went back for seconds. Yeah, I got to watch what I eat. I'm trying to lose some weight. And I walk down the kitchen and I look in the cupboard and I see a chocolate bar. And it just looks back at me and snickers. Back to you, Mr. Giroux.
Hey, New Code. Mr. Giroux here with some rad dad jokes. Coming at you again, this time underwater, because as you guys know, I teach 7th grade, it's like life science, and I really like animals. My first joke has to do with animals that live underwater. So How many tickles does it take to make an octopus even laugh? Tentacles. Yeah. Or how about this one? Another animal joke. What does a bee use to brush its hair? A honeycomb. I don't have that problem. Well, my last one for you here. A little more up to date, I guess. What do you call two monkeys that share an Amazon account? Primates. There you go. I hope you enjoyed.
See what I mean? We can have a whole year of this. To make things easier, Mr. Canyon has created a button that allows you to easily submit rad jokes and what's the meaning of this? Captions for NewsBYTEs. Come on, New Code Academy Middle, save us from teacher torture and some rad jokes and submit some rad jokes of your own. See you, and hopefully your jokes next week.
Thanks, Rashad. I'm glad someone is putting an end to Mr. Cannon's rad jokes. More like bad jokes. Ugh. I can't even.
What place are you in now? In second place. Well, if you are running a race and you pass the person in second place, that would put you in second place. You would have to pass the person in first place to be in first place. Did you figure out the answer? See you next week.
Well, we've crossed the finish line of another episode. See you next time, and remember to take a bite out of learning. Or in my case, from this delicious fancy boot.
This thing is still recording.
Oh my gosh, that was so bad. Okay. Take a bite out of learning. Bye.
I select dog treats.